Welcome to this week's edition of Courtside with Coach Talley. I'm your host, John Brennan. Tough week for the Rams. They went 0-2 in 2 home games, losing to Norristown and Methacton. Coach, we talked about on last week's show it was going to be a tough week for you. And you lost really a heartbreaker in that first one. The Norristown back and forth goes to overtime, and they find a way to win out there. Let's talk about Norristown there first. Once again, felt like you had a chance to win the game, sneak it out at home too.
Yeah, I think there was a couple times we had an opportunity to put the game away, and we just weren't able to close it. And credit Norristown, you know, their kids never gave up, and they played the full 32 minutes, and you know they pressured.
32 minutes plus, yeah.
Oh yeah, 32 plus what is it? 4. So 36.
30. I think that math is right on that one right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know they put pressure on you the entire game, and you know, give a lot of credit to them. They closed it out, and we just didn't do enough of the little things there at the end.
And I know the early district rankings came out yesterday, but I mean, I think at the end of the year, Norristown and Methacton, I mean, we both got to think they got to be like a top 8 team in the district too. Norristown just beat Lower Marion over the weekend. Methacton just beat Newman Goretti over the weekend. So we think they're going to be there at the end.
Yeah, Norristown was a top 8 team last year, and they returned everybody
guys,
and have 2 additions. So you know you would think they're going to be in that top 8 for sure. And Methacton, like you said, beat Newman Goretti, and they kind of are firing on all cylinders right now. So you know, as a coach, you take that into perspective, but at the end of the day, you still want to be able to win, and if you want to compete at that level, you have to start beating those teams.
Right, and obviously major bonus points involved too when you do get some of those wins against the team that they're going to rack up some wins during the year there too.
Yeah, for district rankings wise, you know, that Norristown loss isn't going to kill you, but a win there is really going to help your case when it comes to district time if we're fortunate enough to make it. And
we're also going to now put I don't know if early season pressure is really what but it's a big week for you guys here. You get 3 home games here this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and an opportunity to get the pack record to a 3-2 here. Like a bad week could really put you guys in the hole here moving forward in league play too.
Yeah, in league standings and district standings, we're below everybody on our side. You know, Methacton, Norristown, PV, Boyertown, O&J are all ahead of us in all the rankings. So I think you said it. You know, it's not panic time, but it's a one game at a time mentality, and if we want to make a run here, you got to get that first one, which is tonight.
Yeah, and like you said here, it's all here at home here. Week, big week for you guys here. All right, so let's get back to Norristown. Baker had a big night for you. I think he had 30 on the night. Hagan made some contributions there to you. He kind of maybe struggled a little bit early and had a big game out there. It just seems like every once in a while there just seems to be those lulls. And you talk about it a lot in basketball where, you know, we can't take possessions off. I know it's a basketball thing, but I feel like sometimes when a couple possessions go bad, it tends to be like a downward trend for you guys.
Yeah, it's like you work so hard, you build a lead, you're competitive, and then just mental lapses. That's, as a coach, that's what you don't want to see, especially when you have some seniors out on the court. Norristown capitalized on all of them, you know, just turnovers and missed foul shots and missed layups and switching when we're not supposed to switch, and you know, something bad always seems to follow on that end. So yeah, the mental mistakes, you know, hopefully that's like an early season thing, but moving forward, you know, I think if we're locked in for 32 minutes, we'll be fine.
All right, Coach, let's take a look at the highlights from Springford, Norristown.
All right. Yeah, this is typical Norristown, just, you know, getting after you defensively, challenging you with the ball and hoping that you're going to make mistakes. Hagan had a great game. It was great to see him contribute. You know, he sometimes defers to the other guys, but against Norristown, he carried us, him and Baker.
Looks like you get a little pressure there, get a steal on the sideline.
Yeah, defensively.
Here you gotta get another turnover.
Yeah, we're at our best when we're playing defense and playing with tempo. That was just a big time move by Baker. I mean,
a little hesitation action, like it seemed like.
Yeah, and there's Hagan again. I think he had 3 threes on the night. And
I do like to see the bench getting involved. We talked about that in this show in the past. The bench is involved. Bake with the dunk.
Yeah, you don't see that too often. And yeah, that's a great point. I know, you know, the guys on the bench, there's times where they want to be in the game, they want to be contributing, but it was good to see them active. There's Kovaleski with a big block from behind. Schlingo being tough with the ball there. And
finds Hagen again.
Yep, but like just a little thing there. Schlingo being tough. He's trapped, he's double teamed, he rips through.
Pivots away through it, yeah.
So,
another move by Hagen there. He gets a little mid-range jumper for himself.
Yeah, it's good to see Ryan, and here comes Baker again, and that's the play there where I think we're up 5, and you know Baker has a dunk and has the momentum, and then the very next play they throw a pass from half court for a layup, and then
somebody's got to find a way to get back there. Maybe not be your guy, but we got to find a way to cover him there.
Well, we are back. We're just I think where everybody's celebrating or, you know, kind of forgot where we are in the game at that point, and they get a quick bucket, and, you know, that turned the tide back to them.
Now, before we take a break here and move on to Methacton, let's talk about practice on Wednesday then, after that game. Did you notice something? Did you see something in the team? Like, did you have what was your feeling going into Thursdays? Because sometimes usually those practices before kind of are a big barometer as you as a coach of where your team stands too.
Yeah, I mean, the kids were hurting. The coaches were hurting. There's certain losses throughout your careers that sting a little more than others. That was one of them. The last 4 times we've played Norristown, 3 of them have gone to overtime or double overtime. So emotionally and physically, the kids were beaten up. Norristown's a physical team. You know, they
can play a lot of guys. Yeah. You know, they're always cycling guys in the game. They always want to be fresh, essentially, too.
They're strong. They're physical, and you know, we felt that at practice. So we went a little bit lighter, got some shots up, and you know, tried to keep their spirits high. And you know, at that point, you got to move on.
All right, Coach, good stuff right there. We're going to take a quick break here, all right?
You got it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll recap the game with Methacton after this.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met Narnese. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Courtside. I'm your host, John Brennan, with the head coach, Chris Talley. All right, Coach, here, before we get into Methacton, I know in some of the other shows that we do, we like to do announcements. What type of feedback did you get about week 1, first off, from the viewership out there from RCTV? I
didn't get a whole lot of feedback.
Okay.
I think the bowling team kind of trumped all winter sports at this point. I know you were a big part.
Oh, man, it's so much fun. Yeah, a lot of people, bowling was a hot button topic last week. We kind of got outrated, I think, in the ratings there.
I think there's competition this season with the addition to the bowling team, which was great to see, and the swag that they have in those bowling uniforms, man, they're
awesome.
They're tough to compete with.
I went on the online store, bought myself a little bowling gear too.
You got one.
I didn't go for the jersey. That's aggressive. I'm not that much of a bowler.
Yeah.
Pair of sweatpants though, you know what I mean? So I can't go to the match and then not support the team with a little gear too.
Yeah, when I saw that, I reached out to Coach Green and offered a gentleman's agreement, and I'll trade you some Springford.
Some basketball for bowling gear?
Yeah.
Still waiting for an answer on that one there?
No, you're
on board.
Yeah, she was excited that.
I guess I should have offered some tennis gear for some bowling gear. I didn't even think about it.
It's a fair trade.
Yeah, fair trade.
So
Coach Shukta, your ninth grade. First off, the ninth grade coach, he said a little more enthusiasm he was looking for us out of week 2. I said, all right, you come in at 6, something in the morning. You try and get really pecker,
yeah,
ready to go about the show a little bit. So we're trying to get a little more pep in our step here today, Shukta, you know, so.
Maybe we'll bring him on as a guest.
See if he can get up at the crack of dawn here and do a little early morning edition.
We could talk about 9th grade basketball and what he's doing to prepare them for the JV and varsity level.
Mark it down. Shukta's going to be on the show at some point this year.
Absolutely.
All right, announcements here. We got some. It's a kind of a big week here for you in the program a little bit.
Yeah, I think Christmas Eve, Coach, it goes back a long time being an alumni. It's the best day of the year for us, Springford basketball players and alumni. It's grown over the years, and Christmas Eve morning, you know, we invite all the alumni back and play a little bit of a tournament, a round robin format, and then we celebrate with some hoagies afterwards and talk stories and hoops.
Do you have an arrive time like it for the people, for the alumni out there watching?
Yeah, the tip-off's going to be at 9.
Okay.
So, you know, I'd get there a little earlier.
Warm up stretch maybe, possibly.
Some of those guys aren't as limber as they used to be, or not limber at all.
Now here's what I'll go, but I'm not playing too. They also make that caveat. You can just go and watch and enjoy part of the day. Say hi to people too. You don't have to come and have to play too. You're encouraged to play if you want to.
Encouraged, yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I think that that breakdown has grown over the years.
Oh yeah.
Where the amount of spectators versus the amount of actual participants is probably close to a 50-50 split at this point.
Yeah, you got to bring out the bleachers because the old guys need somewhere to sit now.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing everybody at
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve in the gym.
And also something new here too. Coach Caldwell is trying to organize some alumni of the 1990s too. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, on Saturday, the 22nd, it's the 90s decade. Teams are going to be recognized before the game with Pottsgrove, and Coach Caldwell obviously was a huge part of the success in building the program here at Springford. So it's great to have him involved and see him reconnect with some of his former players, and also an opportunity for our guys to see, you know, some of the Rams of old who paved the way and who are proud to be alumni of Springford basketball.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to make a lot of trips to the gym here Saturday and Monday.
Yeah.
Clear the schedules essentially at the Brennan household.
But it's what we do. The wives, they know about it. They pretty much don't have a choice in the matter. It's what we've done prior to the
If it's on the calendar, you're allowed to do it, right? Isn't that the deal, right?
Before we got married and said I do and all that, this was part of our...
Springford basketball was always there.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Good stuff right there. So, alumni, you got any questions? Feel free to reach out to Coach Talley. I'm sure he can answer any type of questions. Coach Caldwell also can help you with some questions if you're worried. I think it's 1 o'clock we're supposed to be there by on.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Make sure you're there by 1 on Saturday for the Pottsgrove game if you're coming for the 90s alum, and Christmas Eve for 9 a.m.
And Coach Shukta can answer any questions.
Shukta's available. That's right. He's got tons of time.
He's a figurehead around here. Second all-time leading scorer. Everybody knows Coach Shukta, so direct all your questions to him.
He's available too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's get back on task here. Yeah. Focus in.
We got off of our pre-production.
Yeah. Methacton game.
Yeah.
First half, have a lead, and then they got a run at the end of the first half, and that run just seemed to turn in the second half and kind of snowballed against you a little bit there too.
Yeah, I think it was 26-19 us, something along those lines, and they went on a little bit of a run to get a 27-26 halftime lead. Still, as a coach, you know, you're in the game, you're competitive, and then the first 5 minutes, that's kind of my thing of the third quarter. First 5 minutes, I believe that's where games are kind of won and lost. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, you know, we didn't match that intensity those first 5 minutes. And then, you know, we had to deviate from our game plan a little bit and scramble and I don't want to say panic, but more or less get away from what we did in the first half.
Right, because if somebody told you you're going to hold due to the 6 points before the game, you said take it?
If even a combination of Woodward due to 26 points, however, that we'd be fine.
You'd take it, right?
We
okay.
would. But again,
their role guy steps up, scores 21, 22, something like that right there. And I'm sure that's what Methacton's saying too. They're going to say, hey, guys, they're going to try and take away what we're doing. We need somebody else here to step up. And like I said, he had 22.
Timko,
He had 22 in the game there too.
And then he went and had 21 against Newman Goretti. So I think it's, you know, a little bit of a coming out party for him, and maybe he's not a role player anymore.
Maybe he's like one of the guys. Yeah. once again, you talked about it. It seemed like you went small a little bit in the game there too.
Yeah.
When now most people in the crowd are saying they got a 6'9" guy. Why are we going small? So talk a little bit what are you trying to do with that type of?
Well, at that point, Woodward was just standing under the basket and wasn't, guarding anybody on the perimeter. So after we got down 8-9 points, at that point we had to change something. So we went smaller and put Baker on him for a little bit and challenged Woodward to come defend us on the perimeter. And we had a lot of open shots. We didn't make them.
Didn't make them.
I think if a couple of those go in, the momentum comes back, and then we bring Bobek back in and start getting back to the original game plan. But credit to them, they rebounded the basketball and weathered it.
Right, and I'm sure once again here, this is where we're trying to give you guys a little bit. So I'm sure people in the crowd are going, they got a 6'9" guy.
Yeah.
Why aren't we playing our centers in the game? And there's your explanation. Hey, let's get them away from the basket. Let's make them guard somebody. And if we make some shots, then it's a different story in the game there too. Like I said, that's good for the people to hear what's going on in your head too.
Let's have him defend the whole court instead of standing under the basket. Pulling him from the basket gives driving lanes that are available for the Bakers of the world and Kovaleski and everybody else, whereas, with him standing there, they're driving right into a 6'9" double team. Did
you read the article in the paper the next day?
I did.
Did you cut any of that out in the paper?
It's one of those things where I try not to get caught up in it because you move on to that next game mentality. That's coach speak, and I dislike coach speak, but what are you going to do? You're going to dwell on it? Sure. Yeah. When we play him next, we'll mention it. I think, if it were one of our players, I wouldn't be happy about the comments. But again, it's a long season,
and they're playing the way they can back it up right now too.
They are, and for us, once I think we'll be playing much better basketball. As the season goes on and some guys get healthy, and we'll see then.
All right, sounds good. Let's take a look at the highlights from Springford and Methacton.
You got it. Another home game coach here.
You're living in the gym.
Yeah, which means there's going to be road trips ahead of us, but it was good to see Kovaleski get a nice little putback. And Hagen,
stayed hot a little bit for the week there, made some shots for you.
Yeah, and it's no surprise, he's been coming in before school, getting some shots up, and using the gun, going to the Y, then going to school all day and getting some more shots up at practice. So it's good to see his hard work, paying off for him. Looks like here's a.
It looks like you really forced the Methacton away from the basket here too.
Yeah, and you can see there's Duda, and that Scrocchio on him, and just making it miserable for him. He in 3 games last year scored almost 100 points on us. So we were proud of that defensive effort, but we just got to do a better job on everybody else next time. And here's Baker with his patented spin move and one. And this is where we went small. You got Baker on Woodward, and he scored 20 points, but he's 6'9". It's not like he scored 40.
Right.
So he's a good high school basketball player, and he impacts the game from all levels. But
can't teach height, right?
No, but when Baker was on him, he battled him, made it tough for him.
All right, Coach, good stuff right there. Like you said, putting that stuff behind it, we got a big week for you guys here.
Huge week.
All right, we're going to talk about this week's games here. All right,
here
you got it. All right, make sure you stay tuned through this commercial break, and we'll preview the Rams' 3 games this week.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back to Courtside. I'm your host, John Brennan, with the head coach, Chris Talley, in an attempt to preview this week's games here. Want to make sure everybody's aware. Tonight, RCTV brings you the action here as you guys host the Boardtown Bears here in Game 1. So make sure if you can't make it out tonight, check out the game on RCTV. I think there's going to be Coach Caldwell and Nick Elsner's doing the play-by-play. I think they go in the halftime show, and then here too. A lot of things, little new nuances here for the
full production. They got the whole crew out for a big league game tonight, so it's great to see.
And once again out there, holiday breaks coming up here, so we're going to do this show here, and then we'll be back on January 8th. We just got the word from the director.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about these 3 games, your Christmas break game. It'll be a big recap segment on the 8th right there.
I hope the vibe's a little bit different after that. Would that be 4 games?
Well, you're going to play 3 this week. 1 over break. You play any like that first week in January when you come back, like the 4th or like that Friday?
Yeah, I would assume there's got to be a game or 2.
Maybe something in there.
Yeah.
Well, big recap segment right there. So, but we're going to take a little holiday break here, actually.
We'll catch the viewership
Mid-season break?
Yeah.
Didn't they talk about? Mid-season finale?
Yeah.
And we only did 2 shows, though.
Yeah.
You're okay with it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so Boardtown here tonight. They're coming in. Talk about the Bears a little bit.
Boardtown starting 4 sophomores, but they're tough kids. They have some big physical size, like Boardtown always tends to have, and they're tough and they play hard, and they're going to play a 2-3, and they're going to make you work for it and try to limit your touches. And they're coming off a pretty big win over a really good North Penn team at North Penn, which isn't easy to do. So I know they're fired up after that win, and they're going to try to build off of that as they come here and play us in a huge league game. Yeah,
and obviously with a young team, every game builds experience, and then when they get those wins, then they start to believe in themselves a little bit more. So as you said, coming off the big win, the boys can't be looking at essentially like records and did they get blown out by Methacton? Sure, but once again, they've played that many games since that stage too.
I think the kids understand we're what our record says. We're 1-3, and we're the bottom of every standings district and league wide. So I don't think they have that mindset of Boardtown's coming in starting 4 sophomores. I think they have the mindset of we need to come in and focus for 32 minutes and not turn the basketball over. I think that's their mindset.
Game 2 of the week, Thursday night, the Battle of Roarsford. PJP makes the big trek down Township Line Road here, and they're going to play you guys. PJP off to a hot start, too, scoring the basketball at a high rate, too.
Yeah, their last couple games, they shot well from 3. They had 11 threes versus, I forget who.
Pottsgrove?
It might have been, it was Pottsgrove.
Yeah.
And then they lit it up again against a pretty good Devon Prep team, so they're playing with confidence and maybe one of the more surprises of the league at this point. That they're 4-1. They have a new coach, brings a lot to the table in Brendan Stanton. He's a good guy, I know him a little bit, and has brought some energy to that program. So it doesn't get any easier, especially when you're looking for some wins and you're playing teams that have a lot of confidence right now. We're going to be tested here.
And that'll be kind of a battle right there, because obviously you're going to have some size advantage inside. But once again, they're really good on the perimeter out there. Can your guards almost step up and deny a little bit, limit their guard play here, and while you exploit you guys, the big guys, against PJP too.
Can't trade 3s for 2s. So, something's going to have to give. We're going to have to defend that perimeter better than we have.
All right, and then on Saturday, to close it out here before the holiday break, you guys host Pottsgrove in a matinee.
Yeah.
Effort here, 1:30 varsity tip. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
We think so. We're saying everybody remember the thing.
The 1 o'clock.
The 1 o'clock for alumni, but we're going to play JV.
12 o'clock.
Do the thing for the alumni, for the 90s alum, and then play the varsity game against the Grove.
Yes.
All right, so talk about the Grove.
Again, they have a couple guys in Robinson and Clark that are averaging close to 17, 18 a game each. And then they have a third scorer averaging 13 a game. They've started off hot. They beat a really, really good Unionville team who has aspirations of a District 1 title at the 5A level.
Okay.
So that win, I think, kind of opened up a lot of people's eyes and kind of announced Pottsgrove, has a hand in this league here as well. The one thing that sticks out to me is they get to the foul line. They've shot over 100 foul shots already in the year, and they've made 71 of them. So not only are they getting there, they're shooting at a pretty good percentage. So
really good for high school basketball, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge for us. Is to that's putting pressure on teams by getting teams in foul trouble. So.
All right, Coach. Good stuff right there. Thanks for the preview, and best of luck here this week with the home games.
Appreciate it, and I'll see you in the new year.
No. I'm going to see you I'll see you here in the new year, but I'll see you Saturday.
See you in the studio.
Yeah, studio. But I'll be there Saturday. I'll make an appearance on Christmas Eve. I'll say hi a little bit to the crew.
You have to. It's what we do.
It's a tradition. It's what we do. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. We'll see you in 2019 on RCTV.
You got it. Thanks.
All right. Make sure you stay tuned, and we'll be back in 2019, January 8th, and we'll recap all of these games for Springford. For the head coach, Chris Talley, I'm John Brennan. See you next time, Courtside.